Hibiscus moscheutos, or some other people say moscheutos, or let's go with whatever you have to say to be able to spell it. I like moscheutos. All right. New foliage is extremely glossy, very much, and almost it's translucent. You can almost see straight through it. Okay. And then it becomes more like a hibiscus foliage, where it's just typically sort of a matte-like finish. All right. Not particularly. It's really got no pubescence on it to speak of very much. I mean, there's some, obviously, but not a whole lot. And then it's got a soft feel to the foliage, all right? Very much an acuminate tip, okay? And then, just like all the rest of the hibiscus, the margins are extremely...
Is this the same one, Andrew?
That is Hibiscus syriacus, actually, I think. So let's look over here.
Oh, okay. Don't look there.
This is one right here. So this is what we want to look at. Okay, so you'll notice that typically it will have a lobe on it, at least one or two or three lobes. I mean, there are a few out there that are non-lobed, and you'll notice again that the foliage, when it's first coming out, doesn't have any lobings on it. All right. Hibiscus moscheutos typically gets anywhere from probably the shortest one is 4 foot tall to 6'8", maybe a little bit larger than that in other areas, but here you see them typically from 4 to 8 foot tall or so. And then the flowers on them are why you would grow Hibiscus moscheutos, and the flowers on them will occur anywhere from maybe 6 inches in diameter to 12 inches in diameter. They can be huge. There's one called, well, whites, pinks, reds, the typical hibiscus flower colors. One called Muy Grande, and the reason that he calls it Muy Grande is because there was I believe the man was Chinese, a plant breeder in San Antonio named Mr. Muy. What's his name? And
it sounds like Chinese.
Exactly. So the guy with a pretty good sense of humor named the largest flowering one that I know of Muy Grande. And he gets corrected everywhere he goes, but he knows what he's talking about. It's about, like I say, at least a foot in diameter and red, and got the nice, sort of yellow center in it with the reproductive structure. It's beautiful, and I mean the flowers are just huge. Okay.
So Andrew, if you don't trim it back, you just have like, can it be
if you don't trim it back, you have a whole big tree that has a lot of this dead wood. You'll even notice that some of this, in fact most of this, is not coming back from the dead wood. Most of it's coming back from the ground. Okay?
Okay.
So if you have this thing out here and you haven't trimmed it, you're just going to have all this stuff sort of being suppressed by all this dead wood. So you got to get rid of that so that it can, and you'll even notice Bo can even sort of snap some of this stuff off. It's completely dead.
So why wouldn't you just like trim it all the way flat to the
ground?
Well,
the reason that we don't is because it reminds us of where everything is.
Okay.
To be honest, I mean, it's sort of like there's a practical answer.
But it's truly herbaceous, right?
You mean dive back to the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it actually get woody, or is that just
a
thick stem?
It's just a really thick stem. If it were able to survive, where it's able to survive, it would become woody. Okay. But the truth is that it dies back every year. So no, it's just a really thickened, almost woody stem.
Has everything today died back to the ground?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Everything. That's why it's always sort of like a crapshoot whether or not it's going to be up this week or not.
Okay.
And when we looked at it 2 weeks ago with just our TAs, most of this, I mean, this one looked like this one, but even the little growth was smaller than this. All right. So it's sort of like taking a leap of faith. Pretty fast. Yeah. Well, it doesn't take long. If it gets some warm temperatures and some water, it'll go. All right. Questions on this?